Hello, and welcome to the Excalibur Podcast. My name is Grayson Cruz, he, him, senior at McCallum, and I'm here to show y'all today the different types and styles of artists that we have here at our high school. Now, since this is the first podcast, we are going to be running into some technical difficulties going into the first few episodes, but it's completely normal and fine and something that we'll have down in the future. A few things about myself. I read a lot. I try to appreciate the different genres and areas of art and science. I've taken many classes here at McCallum. I've done ACC for about 3 years now, and I've been in both Mac journalism for about 1.5 years, and then I went more into the Mac Excalibur area, which is a class here at McCallum, if you didn't know, for the past 2 years. Anyway, now that you know a little bit about me, let's get to the good stuff. This week, we'll be talking to the band Unauthorized. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulty, this episode recorded speaker view instead of gallery view, which means you cannot see everyone who's talking. But don't worry, we've edited it to where it's easier for you to see who's talking and when. Now, let's get to it. So, you guys want to introduce yourselves? Names, grades, pronouns?
Yeah, I'm Sage. I'm a senior, and I use they, them pronouns.
My name is Johnny. I'm a senior as well, and I use he, him pronouns.
Isabella. I'm a senior as well. I use she, her.
I'm Rooster. I'm a freshman. I use he, him.
Nice. Yeah, I guess we'll just jump right into this. How's life in quarantine, guys? How's life affected y'all in general? This could be like school or at home or even as a band. I know that you guys have done a lot of physical events, live events, and it's probably changed a lot in that regard. What do you think?
We had a lot of touring and playing lined up for this summer, and then COVID hit, so we had to, put everything on hold as a band, but we're recovering from it, and we just had a live show that was live streamed on YouTube. And so that was interesting to try and plan out, but ended up working out, and it was really good for us, and we hope to do more of those at the Lost Well.
Yeah, I was actually curious about that. Is it the YouTube channel The Lost Well? It said Rock for Rent number 32, and it's like a certain type of stream they do.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's every week or not, but it seems to me like every Saturday or Sunday they have a Rock for Rent show, which basically they just have a bunch of bands play, and then they live stream it, and everyone can tip and view and, just have a good time from their own houses. And yeah, that's through the Lost Wells YouTube channel. And we played with the band Sigil. They were good. They're very nice people as well. So that was fun.
Sweet. Be sure to check them out. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that people listening to this have heard you before, since this is a McCallum podcast with listeners from the high school itself. But still, what can new listeners or people looking for other ways, where can they check you out, find y'all's music?
We have all of our music on pretty much every digital platform, I believe. Most of our music is on Spotify, I know that for sure, and Apple Music. And then you'll find some of it on like Bandcamp, I believe. I don't think we're on any of like the very small streaming platforms, but I'm sure like Apple Music as well. But yeah, we're on any digital media streaming platform, and we're also on YouTube as well. We have a music video there if you want to check that out.
Hell yeah. I'll try and link those where possible, and if not, be sure to find them on those services since the music is just awesome. So, how do you think that your audience has handled listening to you during quarantine? I know that a lot of people went to watch you guys at live shows throughout the years, and have they gotten more digital now, listening on things like Apple Music and Spotify? Not that those aren't likely to happen for a while.
Live shows, yeah. Affected us. It was pretty negative at first, everything kind of dropped for us, but now everything's kind of picking back up, and we just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, which is a big milestone for us. So I'd say people are still, being pretty active with us and still acknowledging that we're there.
Yeah, I think with that live show, picked things back up because they were kind of at a little standstill, but we worked on new music and got in contact with our friends at Lostwell, and I think live shows are pretty great, pretty fun, but can't wait to get back to playing like actual in-person shows.
For sure. How's COVID-19 affected y'all in terms of, being able to get together and either record what you have down or just brainstorm new ideas?
Yeah, it's affected us a lot, actually. Sage and Isabella can cover more on their home situations if they'd like, but pretty much we can't really come too close in contact with each other because of certain restrictions. But recently we rented a house together, and we all just stayed in there for about 3 weeks and really just tried to tighten up our set and write enough for a full-length album that we've been trying to work on. We got a lot of songs done and we tightened it up, and then we had the show shortly after that, which, it really helped to be able to play before then. So it was good.
So I know that not a lot of people know about hardcore punk and what it is. It's definitely much more of a niche genre. And that's why, people at McCallum might be wondering about, just what hardcore punk is. Would you mind explaining?
Sage, you want to talk about that?
Well, I think if I had to explain hardcore punk to somebody, it'd probably be like, it's pretty like raw and stripped down. It's heavy, it's fast, and it's angry. I mean, I think what we play, it's to make people angry about the right things and advocate for social change. And I think that's really important to do that through music because, not everybody listens to music, but most people listen to music. And yeah.
Yeah. Music can definitely change the way you perceive the world. I really believe that. Johnny, I saw that you made a Spotify playlist for user Unauthorized on the different inspirations for your band. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's countless bands that we all listen to and, really connect with and help us form the music that we make. A lot of them are on that playlist, but a lot of them aren't, But really, we just really like music that is pretty real, doesn't really like bull anything. We're about, changing for the better good and, just trying to be better people is what we're really about, and trying to show the world, just how not to be terrible people in this time,
Yeah.
But some bands that we really like, or at least I really like, is like Minor Threat or Black Flag, and there's countless other ones, Descendants. I mean, there's tons of bands, There's actually this band right here, Protest. They're a metal band. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, everyone else can say a few bands too if they'd like.
I'll go. I think certain bands have influenced me more than others. Like Bad Brains and Gorilla Biscuits are probably one of my biggest ones. They just, I think, make me a better drummer type of thing.
Yeah, I think certain bands influence me on like different things. Like as far as vocals go, I really get. I think vocals go a long way when it comes to hardcore. Like you really gotta get everybody else in the mood that you're in and what you're talking about. So a few bands that like I feel really have that energy, or like Gorilla Biscuits, like that. You know, like just really angry and really raw. And yeah, I don't know. Like Johnny said earlier, they don't bullshit stuff. You know, they talk about real. And I think that's important.
I really like Black Flag. I actually just like Keith Morris in general. Like I like early Black Flag a lot. Probably Off as well. I like Negative Approach quite a bit. Yeah.
Cool. So I know that the first album that you put out was Fall in Line, which featured 4 of your first songs. And then recently, actually, around late July, early August, was when you released Pigs Got a Hold of Me, which was released in both Spanish and English. I was wondering if you would like to have any words on that behind what you were trying to put out.
I think the main message, just in a nutshell, is it's obviously about police violence, and it's nothing new. You know, it's always been an issue since the very beginning, and not enough people speak up against it. And yeah, I mean, we're pissed about it. A lot of people are pissed about it, and yeah, I think that I mean, music about social change is always, you know, inspired me. And I think when we were writing that song, we wanted to do that to other people. You know, they hear the song and they listen to the lyrics, and they want to go out, they want to change.
Yeah, we've had that song for a while, but then all the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor stuff came out, and we really just thought, maybe we should get this out there and have it be relevant with the times and just make it available, really. But we didn't write it because of that. We had written it probably when we actually released our first EP, we had that song as well, like right after there. And then the timing just kind of happened right, and we got it done about that time when all the protests were happening, and it was just nice to have it available.
So now I'm going to be playing a little bit of Pigs Got a Hold of Me by user Unauthorized. Hope you all enjoy.
Protect the satellite right. Flash your badge, flash your gun. Where your head, tonight, son. I don't like the way you look. You're a threat in my book. Biggie, 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 let me go. I got rights, don't you know? Biggie, 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 let me go. I got rights, don't you know?
For sure. It's nice that they both came out at the same time. I feel like the meaning was, I would say, exponentially impactful compared to, say, if you were to release it on its own at a different time.
Yeah, we agree with that.
So, at this point, you've done live shows, you've done, on and around campus, live performances. You've been on digital in general, in both video and audio form, including live streams and producing music. And now you've recently gone vinyl. I was wondering if you'd like to talk about that. I know you gave away one of the records during the live stream for the Rockford Rent, correct?
Yeah, vinyl was a big step. We got picked up by a record label, and so they did 500 pressings. We still have a few left if you want to pick up one for yourself. But yeah, it was a big step, and we gave one away in a giveaway to try and, grab more traction. And I believe his username was punkrockkid9 or something like that. We got in contact with him, but yeah, the record label will ship it to us soon, and then we'll all sign it, and then we'll end up sending it to him. But vinyl was a big step for us, and we're excited to actually have something that people can listen to on vinyl. It's a big step in the music career, I feel like.
So what are the details of the record? Will it be Pigs Got a Hold of Me in both Spanish and English?
It would be the Pigs Got a Hold of Me single with the English and Spanish version on either side. And we actually had some delays because of COVID hitting. So it'll be shipping out in November, hopefully. But our record label is going to be packing it with a bunch of goodies like stickers and I think maybe a little bit of artwork and stuff like that, just to try and compensate for the delay.
All right, let's move to McCallum topics. So, how have you guys been handling, the Zoom meetings every weekday, all the work that comes associated with it, and just like how y'all have or haven't come to terms with doing this for an extended period of time? I know that AISD, and in particular McCallum, in our case, has opened up its capacity for more students, but I also know that a lot of students are not going to school specifically because of COVID or things like that. And I was just wondering if I could get you guys' 2 cents on it.
I'm very opinionated on this, actually. I don't like it. I felt like Zoom. You're laughing at me, Sage. I felt like Zoom. It's very exhausting. Like, I didn't think it would be that exhausting, but like sitting in front of a laptop all day, I don't know. I'm not saying I don't like online school, because I complain about regular school to begin with, but like, I suppose it just takes more out of you, I guess. Staring at a screen is tiring.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like necessary right now. Like, I don't think we should go back to school, but it is definitely draining, like sitting in front of a screen all day. With regular school, at least you move around, you see people. But this just gets it gets old really fast.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like after so many weeks of school online, burnout is inevitable, and people should take care to have digital hygiene and spend a lot of time doing things that they like that aren't on screens, or even if they are on, as long as it's something they like, it'll help that burnout. And on the flip side of that, we have the TEA, the Texas Education Agency, pressuring the AISD, and in turn pressuring McCallum, to have staff on campus, especially now that they have the campus grounds more open to students since October and into November. They want all the staff there, and have provided few, in comparison to the amount of requests filed, the ability to take leave or being able to teach from home. I was wondering if any of you guys had thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, I don't really think it's any of their business how we run school. Like, if it's safe or not. I don't really think that they should be able to control exactly what you do with yourself and how the individual schools go about that. Like, cutting funding, that's just dumb. Like, who cares exactly how the individual schools do that? To control that, as long as the people are learning, is just stupid to me. I don't think it's any of their business.
Agreed. So, wrapping it around back to y'all, as a band, where do you see y'all after high school, or after the pandemic, whichever comes first?
I feel that for band's sake, we can't really go anywhere until Rooster graduates. Hence, he is only a freshman,
Yeah.
But we hopefully see ourselves on tour as soon as COVID is over. We had planned on going tour, like I said previously, but that got messed up due to COVID. But we have a lot of shows lined up for as soon as COVID's over. We can just, try and knock them all out of the way and really just get back to the normal music scene and try and keep on doing what we love doing.
For sure. Where could people find you after COVID? Like, how would they know where you're going and where you're playing for live shows and things like that?
It's kind of just playing it by ear. I mean, you can always check our Instagram at Unauthorized for updates on music and upcoming shows and live streams and everything about the vinyl too. We're always happy to answer questions. If you have any, you can always DM us. But right now, we're kind of just waiting for COVID to blow over in a sense before we really start pumping out anything. There's talk about recording another EP or full-length album and getting that out there, but just really playing it by ear for us.
Well, listeners, you heard him. Go follow their Twitter, Instagram, and listening to them on their streaming services. I'll go and flash all of those handles right now and at the end of this podcast. Yeah. So this brings me to the end of the podcast area, both due to timing and due to the amount of questions I have. So here's my question to you guys. Do you have any questions for me on either the podcast or in general, or, about the Excalibur class, which is the class responsible for this podcast happening in the first place, and the literary magazine it produces, as well as, things like what we can do for you.
Yeah, what's your motive for this podcast? What are you guys trying to do with it? Because I know it's a new thing for you guys, so I would like to learn about it and know what you guys have in the future and whatnot.
So the goal of this podcast, once I got the ball rolling, since this is the first Excalibur podcast in the class's roughly 70 years existing, was to showcase McCallum artists. This includes like musicians, bands, poets, the works. It can even go to more typically fringe things like theater, which is more popularized at McCallum than the typical high school, and things like that. It's pretty much here to help raise awareness of the different styles of art and storytelling and, just sharing the love. What we're really trying to do right now is we're trying to get people that want to be on as a guest to reach out to us. This could be like McCallum alumni, but preferably those in school now. We're also trying to, get people to reach out for us to make artwork for the Zoom borders and things like that. So it'll be very interesting to see how we go from there. So yeah, thanks you guys for being one of the first people to take me up on the offer. So, we can just see how far we can go with this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
The final thing I'd like to say, both to you guys and the podcast listeners, is to go check out our journalism classes podcast, The S Word. The latest episode, which is Feedback Loop Episode 3, one of their music showcase series, features Jay Mathias, and it really goes more in depth on the behind the scenes and influences of Jay Mathias's latest EP, which is Vampire. It's really good in my opinion and really should be checked out.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you. Thanks for having us. Make sure to check out other podcasts if you can.
Now, unfortunately, I did not record their goodbyes, but I can say that it was a good time all around. One thing that you might have noticed is that there were quite a few video and audio corrections that needed to be made to this video, and I can say that was mostly due to the fact that it was recording in speaker view and not gallery view. Normally, on a typical call, there would be, a student's art along the border, and then there would be everyone's faces in real time reacting to what each other is saying. That is what it's going to be in the future, as long as we record it right and as long as everything goes well. I would like to say thank you very much for watching this. I know that it took a solid amount of time to make this. The next podcast actually will not be me as the host. It will be hosted by my gracious co-host, Lila Plummer, who has decided to help me and lighten the workload, as well as, have a lot of fun herself. And we've decided to alternate episodes on this podcast for as long as both of us continue to do so. And this is a howdy and have a good day from the people at Mac Excalibur.
This next song's for the boys in blue! Protect and serve our right!